Ladies and gentlemen, we are back from the celebration of 6,000 days, but the real question is, what is going to be next for Eternia? What is going to be next for these videos that I'm going to be making for you all? Well, we're just going to do them at random. Alright, we're back with a crude contraption here, where this is basically all projects, or most of the projects I can remember, all input into a single block each. Some of these will make somewhat sense. These are meant to represent the time charge in the Tower of Time, meaning the interior of it, as well as this clock will be the Tower of Time exterior. These are more exterior, more landscaping, rather. Landscape, more terraforming projects around the place, while the other is actually anything. We're going to flick both of these dispensers twice, and there should be 4 random items in this dispenser. That's 1, 2, that means the winner is the seeds. I should have explained that. But the seeds mean we're going to do a little bit of farming work going towards the, so that's south, that's east, the east side of the continent. So yeah, that means a lot of farming work, mainly just introducing the new project. And yeah, it'll be a nice change. Let's get to work. So for this project, I believe that it'd be smarter just make the entrance of it by developing this pathway all the way down to where the bridge is. It may not be like full on farmland, but it will be more of a preparations towards the farmlands through a very big terraforming project. But the first thing we need to do is what we always need to do in Subplot, connect everything to the floor. In this, I'm thinking just keep it very blocky and then we can just revisit it at a later date. But we need to connect all of these areas to the ground. So let's get to work. And to one, explain my process, and to show off that we've done a sort of retaining wall for the train station at this current moment. Obviously, it's actually not connected still yet, but I've mainly made the retaining wall 2 layers of brick, and then the rest, I think 5 layers of granite, because I'm not going to texture it. Now, is the fact. Because I feel like I want to put, obviously, all the dirt in, and if I texture this entire wall and the dirt already covers like half of it, sort of pointless. As for the train tracks over here, I'm only doing the front one for now, which I've done this small band, and I'm going to add pillars as well as a background wall with it to add some more depth. But one thing I've realised with Terraform, obviously because I put this at ground level, everything goes up, and I feel like that happens, or I have like a canonical explanation for it, due to these tabletop mountains. Basically, the ground, this is the ground, it got pushed downwards, and then had to go up in the way it did, as shown here. sort of got forced upwards, and then the spikes also continually got forced upwards. So much so, all the dirt, gravel, and all that rolled off to try and like prevent it. That's my sort of reasoning, and it does not match anything in geography because that's for nerds, and I did history. So anyway, here's the current progress. I am going to be working on the train track platform as well as the platform for here, and then I'll start adding in some dirt. Back with the standing for the train tracks. Once again, I want to add maybe some art to make it look a little more, detailed. But well, we want to focus on the farmlands and the farmlands we are going to work on just after we build. I'm gonna say for what I want. I'm gonna say up to here, like a placeholder layer, like I did over there, and then below grass and farming work can be done. So yeah, up forward to this finally done. Right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to put in the pathway, which will show the angulation of what everything should do and how it should connect up. Similar to over there, I did a simple design, basically only putting in the blocks I'm thinking of using for the walls, and then when I come back to it, I'll then put in the walls properly as well as like properly connect up the bridge or the train track. So ultimately, it's looking good so far. Now I just have to do a pathway. I think I want to do quite a wide one because I want like wagons and that being able to come here and there in case of people like moving in and out of the city. Yeah, what a wide pathway, and then we're gonna work our way back, reconnecting this terrain up to here, and then here up to that terrain over there. Yeah, let's get to work, shall we? It's the middle of the night on a Monday, and I have a test tomorrow. I don't know how it's gonna go. But anyway, look at this. All this area, and boom. Start to move on to this area over here, and then I'm going to work on this side, connecting up to the cyberpunk area. To the left. Alright, we're back working on this side of the entrance. I mainly want to work on the entrance to the field, and then I'm going to work on the little area. And look what I found. This little shit. I'm surprised some still alive. Don't ask why I did that. Trust me, you won't know. A day or two since the last clip, and look at the progress we've been doing. Mainly, only things we need to do is fill in this grass spot right here, fill in this grass spot there, and finish up on this one, which I'll be doing today. And then we're pretty much done with the main grass, main foundations. That's the correct word. And as for this, I might actually fill it in because it's just bugging me when you just go over this wall. You see this ugly little hole where all the rest of it is like nicely pristine. So obviously, there's a few final details I think I want to do to make it obviously look better. And obviously, this area right here, I mean, need to fix this. These stripes, yeah, it's a good color combination, but it's fucking ugly. Overall, there's a few more things, and then we're gonna start adding in some farmland not going to go further into this cyberpunk area. I want to keep it mainly separate because I want like a small forest to lead into the big pine trees over there. Similar to what I'm doing over there because I feel like I'm gonna like, maybe trail it off a bit. This big hunk of trees, trail it off so it connects up to that and it makes it look a bit more cohesive. So yeah, thanks for this and see you tomorrow. It's me from the next day from the last clip. As you can see, we have the final area to do. Just cover this in dirt and then we'll be working on a few of the wheat patches. And fun fact, so I wanted this idea to make this basically the size of a large farm or like a relatively large farm. It's 480 acres. That's a few acres. This area right here, rough estimate, is around about, give or take, with overlap, 50,000 meters, 30,000 blocks. And with these 50,000 said blocks, and you want to know how many acres that is? Mind you, there's less. Um, in this area, there's around about 12 acres. Meaning, for the actual area, this entire corner, from that point over there to literally right there, all of this needs to times by about 40. 40 of them. And I wanted my, solar punk area to be over there, nice and close. Turns out, if I want this to be an actual farm, due to meet those actual standards, where this needs to go is probably like another 100 blocks. Or I just make an entire biome worth of area, which is going to be planted. And that's the worst part about this, is that the population, theoretically, these are already like pretty small towns. Theoretically, I'm gonna need a bunch more. How many towns I'm gonna have? How many different districts? Because this is going to be a continent of area. So that's gonna be fun. End of clip. Two things really. I haven't finished, patching up the holes yet, but I've realised this. Because of Minecraft being a very fun game, every time I till soil, light is going to show underneath. Which is not a big deal if, all my land that's covered. Unfortunately, if I just fly here, surprisingly, it actually is quite covered. Fuck me, you make me alive. Basically, it's not going to look good at a certain angle, but. And second of all, Minecraft's a very fun game. Meaning I have to place every 8 blocks a water source. So then I can plant my crops. If I don't, it'll just turn into dirt and then I'll just look ugly. They have a lot of work for them. Don't be surprised if this isn't fully completed in the time frame and I just post about, how much landscaping I've done. I'm gonna get back to work now. Ladies and gentlemen, we have completed the farming and we completed the land. We're now starting to farm out. Don't ask what happened here. I tried to make my own crop duster using a simple piston machine, like piston plow machine, and some dispensers pointing downwards, blasting all this with wheat. It all works, it just didn't work that far. Especially for the high octane. And also, one thing I realised, unless I go from the side, I'm pretty sure we try and pat this down or, harvest the wheat. Now what? It'll break. So let's put that there, put that there, put that there. Hey? That could work. You could have an auto harvester. All you need to do is just plant the crop. Then you have a grower behind you, as well as a harvester, and then you can just repeat it. Well, that's a smart idea for smart people to do, but I'm not one of those. So yeah, honestly, I'm gonna try and get as much done as possible. I was ideally want to go over there and do that side, but since we're here, I'd say the main part of this upper platform is my goal. But then again, today is Thursday, and I want to do this video out at least Sunday, and then we'll be working on our next project. Alrighty, and we're coming back around about 30-ish minutes later. Not 30. Where's actually this? Probably like 10 or 20 minutes later. I've completed this area. It took a while, but I think this is going to be good, and I'm going to leave this episode here. So if you enjoyed the episode, I'm now interacting with the video because, gotta be honest, I've gone one view for the past 5 videos, and those have been me. And if you made it this far, I would be shocked because, well, let's just say my fucking engagement is very low. Then of all that wonderful news about fucking numbers and shit, this has been Recon. I've been building Eternia for 10 years, for 3 years now. And see you in the next episode. I know I said the last clip was, going to be the end of the video, but look at this. Look at the croppage of this. Like a piss yellow bed. You got some sweat. Oh, because you had a wet dream. And I'm not talking about the fun gun. I mean, look at it. That is a lot of wheat. And not, especially not, for a lot of the area, as this is I would say, a sixth of what I want to do with this entire area, because I want it to go basically downwards from here. Maybe a little cross, and as well as all of this area here. Yeah, that is a lot of wheat. I mean, from an ideal view, I want it from right here. You can see it still as you come into view. What I'm not looking forward to is possibly this lagging my game. Because I don't know if it does lag my game. But if it does, that's gonna be concerning. Anyway, this is the end of the video.